Hi, this is Mike with Kids and Dragons. I just wanted to talk to you guys today. A couple tips I had in mind. So the cold weather is here, and in Texas it never really gets very cold. I mean, a cool day for us is about 80 degrees, but last year we had a really crazy cold weather. And at one point, as I'm sure everybody remembers, and if anybody here is from Texas, it snowed and it was freezing and we lost power for several days at one point. And when stuff like that happens, it can be very worrisome when you own reptiles who rely on heat for survival. But what I learned last year was that it is okay if your dragon gets cold for a short time. You wouldn't want anything to happen for an extended period of time, but I mean, we lost power here for several days, and it would come on for like half an hour and then it would be off for hours. And as insulated as my building is, it still got very cold in here. Like, I'm talking 40s. I don't think it got in the 30s. I think it got 40s and 50s. And I was definitely worried. I kept an eye on them. They seemed fine. I mean, my house, I would have brought them in the house. There's so many, but my house was even the same temperature. It was not, there was nowhere warm for them to go. So, I mean, there was no other option. So the dragons were in here, but what I found through all of this was that they were completely fine. They warmed up after this kind of happened, and they did excellent. They did great. I don't think we had any problems at all. So I really just wanted to let everybody know, if something like this happens, don't let it stress you out. Don't let it worry you, because I understand it was very worrisome for me, and in the past it has been too. But so it was nice that it happened, because I learned that they're okay if something like this happens. So the next thing I wanted to talk about, which goes along hand in hand with cooler weather, is brumation, which is the hibernative state that bearded dragons go into this time of year. And so what happens is their body slows down, they stop eating, they sleep. So I have a dragon cage up here where I have a male who is actually in brumation right now. And so what happens is, normally the lights are like this. They are on. This is my heat light and my UVB light. And so what happens is the dragon will slow down on eating. He'll start going under the paper on his own more, sleeping, not very active. And so when he does this, or she, when the dragon does this, starts displaying that behavior, what I do is I give them about a week or so, and if they go under their paper, then I'll just turn their heat light off after about a week. And the reason I leave it on is so that any food that they have eaten gets fully digested. You don't want food sitting in their gut if they're gonna be brumating. So that's why I leave the heat on, so that they can kind of flush everything out. I don't feed them when they're kind of displaying this behavior. And it's normal if you do this to see the dragon kind of come out one day and bask, and then go back under. And it might be just trying to finish digesting whatever it could have eaten last. And so now whenever the dragon goes under the paper for, I would say, another couple of days, probably closer to a week, then I'll just turn the UV light off and I just let them sleep. And now this guy in here, he's probably been under this paper for 3 or 4 weeks. I check on them routinely just to make sure they're okay, but I really try not to mess with them too much. And I'm gonna show you, there he is. So you can see how sleepy he looks in the eyes there. I'm gonna pull him just for a second. But you can see, body-wise, he looks very good. He hasn't lost much weight. He's still thick in the tail and the thighs, and fat pads on the head look nice. So I'm gonna put him back. I don't wanna bother him too much. And he'll just keep on sleeping like this. So that's kind of the thing you wanna watch out for when a dragon is brumating. You don't want them to lose any weight. I mean, they may lose a little bit, but they shouldn't get super skinny on you. I mean, as you can see, he probably has not eaten in 4 to 6 weeks, I would guess, somewhere around there, and he has lost little to no weight. And that's how they should be when they slow down like that and start to go into brumation. Yeah, that's why it's important to turn the heat off when they go into this state. So the heat light is going to keep their metabolism working quick. And if they're burning all those calories and have no intake, then they will get very skinny very quickly. So that's why it's important to keep them cool when they are going through this. Now, a bearded dragon will brumate. It could be 3-4 weeks or up to 2.5 or 3 months, I would say, is about the length they could brumate. You may look in here one day and the dragon could be out and look kind of alert. And when they do that, I would still give them maybe 3 or 4 days before you turn lights on. Because a lot of times what happens is they'll come out and then you might look the next day and they're back under their paper. They weren't quite ready to get up. But when they come out and they seem active and they look like they want to bask, I would say a couple of days like that, probably another week, I would say is a good gauge. Then you can reverse the process, turn the UV light on. For another week or so, I would just make sure that they are really awake and they want to be up. And then nothing quick is good for the dragon. So we like to do everything in steps, and it's a process. So then the next step obviously is turning that heat light back on, and then you can resume your normal ritual with your bearded dragon. And so that is just a little bit of insight into the brumation process, which can also be stressful for people because it's can be worrisome in general if your animal is kind of slowing down and getting sleepy, not wanting to eat. But it is very typical for this time of year for a bearded dragon to do this. And so if they do this, I would say the biggest thing you want to watch out for is to make sure they're really not losing weight. And other than that, they should be completely fine. So this is a very normal process for the bearded dragon, so nothing to be concerned about. A baby dragon should not ever brumate. If they are, then that would not be normal for them. They need good fat reserves to get through this process. So, I mean, I've seen dragons as early as about 6 months or so go into brumation. And if they're a good sized dragon with nice fat reserves, you can let them do it. It's not going to hurt them. As long as they are not losing their body weight, that is the most important thing. But typically, you start to see this in dragons that are about a year old and older. That is really when you'll start seeing them go through brumation. I get this question a lot around this time of year with the colder weather, and so I just really wanted to make a video that just to let people know that this is normal, it happens, and to not worry. And again, if we have a crazy winter again in Texas and you lose power, do not freak out or think your dragon is gonna die. Like it will be okay. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and turn this guy's lights back off because he is still in the middle of his brumation cycle. So thank you everybody for watching this video. Give it a like, leave a comment, and please subscribe. Thanks, bye-bye.